Welcome to another episode of Mundelein Minute. Bum, bum, bum. I feel like we should have an intro. We tried it for like 3 episodes. It didn't work. I don't know.
I want like Monday Night Football music.
Wow. That's a lot. All right. Anyways, my name is Eric Schwenk. I'm a trustee in the village of
We
Mundelein.
remembered!
And
I'm
who
Kara.
are you? Yep.
I'm also a trustee in the village of
Mundelein.
I cut you off, sorry.
That's all right. And welcome to my house. This is my house, my cameras, microphones, no
Kids
taxpayer
around.
dollars used in the creation or distribution of the podcast. Yes, there's kids, there's cats, there's a bird. There's like everything going on in this house. So you might hear some background
There's
noise.
a bird.
I know. The bird.
You want to know how to scare me? Get a bird.
Done. All right. So we're talking about 2 meetings. First up was the cow, the committee of the whole.
That's not nice.
What? It's just called a committee of the whole. It's a cow. It's how it ends up on my calendar. And so that was on Monday night at 6 o'clock, followed by the board meeting at 7. So Monday night, committee of the whole.
Monday night.
We talked about concepts for the village circle. So Plaza Circle, which is the space where the Christmas tree lighting is. So there's a grass space out there.
And like when you think about it, it's just not that big of a space.
It's not a large space, that's
and
for sure.
we found that out last year when we had community days there. Right?
Yeah, community days took up a lot of space. So, and community space went on to other land that wasn't Plaza Circle, right? So that overflowed onto where development will be happening come spring. So now that we have these developments, it's time to decide what goes on at Plaza Circle. And we've been having conversations with the mayor,
For a while now.
yeah, for quite some time about what this looks like. And then ultimately a plan was decided and some renderings were done and brought to the board for consideration. And
Got a little spicy.
it got a little spicy Monday night.
Got a little spicy.
So
I'm here for it, man.
the mayor opened up and he was talking about how he would like a fountain. And he thinks that it's the sign of a good community. Talked about Kansas City having hundreds of fountains.
Right. Can we just rewind on that really quick? I'm going to try not to rant. I'm going to control myself. It's 5 o'clock at night. Kansas City is known as the Fountain City because it has over like 250 fountains in it. You can't put in one fountain in an obscure area in town and be like, oh, we have a fountain. That doesn't make any sense. And then he brought up Rome.
Rome is another fountain city. Yeah. And Rome has thousands of fountains, and the mayor even pointed out that many of them are not operational and have fallen into disrepair.
Let's put a model of the Trevi Fountain in Plaza Circle.
So, there's a number of fountains in different cities, and I can't say that they increase property value. I can't say that they are a destination.
Your quote of, I've never moved somewhere because there was a fountain. I almost started laughing out loud.
And it's true. When I'm looking for a house, I'm looking for the home. Obviously, the community that it falls in is great too. Not whether that community has a fountain or how large the fountain is. I'm not going to go to a community and be like, I like this house, but the fountain at the circle is only 6 feet. I require an 8-foot fountain. Like, that's not something that...
I think I might going to start... You're a realtor.
I am.
When I go to move, that's going to be on my requirements. I need a town that has an 8-foot fountain.
I am... You know what? I'm 100% certain. I was going to say 99, but I'm 100% certain that the MLS does not have a field for searching whether the community has a fountain or not.
Well, then you need to update. You need to update the MLS. Who do we call?
So I digress. We had quite the conversation about what the design layout looked like, and we all provided our input and whether the pergola should be on the north side or the south side, or whether there should be seating here or seating there. And then the fountain came up, and I said I wasn't a fan of the fountain, that I didn't want the fountain, that I think the space could be better served without the fountain.
Yeah.
That it has seating so that it could be used for Shakespeare in the Park or whatnot. Yeah. That it can be a versatile space.
So I was envisioning something like, so when I lived in LA, like there's all these communities that are like what we're building in Plaza Circle, and then they have like a common space in the middle, and that's used for like things that kind of like the apartment buildings like get together and it's almost like their backyard and they do like
Yeah.
concerts on Sunday. And I'm not taking away from concert in the park at Crackalower Park. Please calm down. Like put the pitchforks down. I'm not saying that. Or they do like small vendor markets. I'm not talking about the farmer's market. Calm down. Don't yell at me. I'm talking about like small things that surface for these buildings, and that's what they're used for. And that's like always kind of like what I envisioned it for when we were talking about this.
As well as a place for the Christmas tree lighting and some
Maybe.
and some small civic events.
Unless the Christmas tree lighting is better suited somewhere else if we get too big. I don't know. Robin brought up a good point. Like it's always very peoply there and it's very crowded. Is there somewhere else that suits it better? We don't know. These are like arbitrary questions and it could differ in 10 years where this is held.
Yep. Absolutely.
But the basis was is that you wanted a space where you could hold events that wasn't mostly taken up by a footprint of a fountain.
Correct.
That takes away that we haven't even scratched the surface on the cost of said fountain.
Right.
Which is where I was like sitting in my seat down there having a coronary about.
So I wish I had the slide to display that listed out some of these costs. But the fountain was by far the largest cost.
And variable.
Yes.
Like a huge, vast variation between numbers.
Right. Because, we had looked at the idea of a splash pad.
Which we found out we can't do per Illinois state statute. Okay.
Right. Because a splash pad, you have either two ways. One, where you reclaim the water and redistribute the same water, which then becomes a pool by definition, because you're using that water. It has to be chlorinated. It has to be upkept. And that's just even more cost.
Right.
Or you just spray the water and it goes down the drain, which is a huge waste as well.
And cost. Water's expensive. It costs money, man.
Right. Exactly. So that didn't even come up in the meeting because of that.
I mean, I being fully transparent, I loved the idea of a splash pad until you got into like the details of it, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. That's fine.
We'll let the park district keep park districting.
Yep. Do your thing.
Yeah, for the cost, it just didn't seem to be we weren't filling a niche that needed to be filled there. That wasn't.
I mean, I had this vision of like, I don't know, whatever. I won't go into it because then somebody will be like, you said that we were gonna get this, and
I'll also point out that these apartments that are being built around it, people with children is not their number one demographic. No. Yes, there will be some kids that live there, but it will not be their number one demographic.
And they're not going after that, so
right.
Whatever. Anyway.
So ultimately, the board decided to not go forward with a fountain, and the mayor brought up that he wanted to go back and redo all of the drawings since this design was built around the idea of a fountain. And that did not go over well.
I got triggered. And then
it did not go over well.
I vehemently oppose that.
Yeah.
And I was so proud of myself that I used the word vehemently.
The trustees liked the design, and it works. The space works. The angled parking, the space for trees, the way the barricades are built in to block oncoming traffic so that it's a safe environment.
Yeah. There's
a lot that's going on with this that when we took the fountain out, the trustees were like,
it's fine.
Hey, we're good.
Just leave it.
Yep.
I felt like I was having like something that like it wanted to be like over engineered.
Yeah. Sure.
And I was like, just leave it.
So now we go back to the drawing board. And I say the drawing board
we're not going back and doing plans
not
again.
Starting over.
Oh my gosh.
So we have an idea, a concept.
Yes.
And now it goes back to the drawing board for the actual plans.
And for someone to bid on it.
Correct.
And for us to accept bids. And for us to have to budget for it next year, which if you watched last week.
Yeah, when we talked about the tax levy, we're already facing a difficult time in the next fiscal year. Yeah. So that was something that was on our minds, at least on we've talked about on our minds.
I was struggling immensely, and like I told you earlier, like I understand we budgeted this year for the concept design, so we had to do it, right? We already had spent the money to do it. I get it, but I was like couldn't wrap my head around that we were planning this project when the week before we had a conversation about cuts.
Yeah.
Right. I was struggling.
Right. So we have some money set aside for this project that came from two developers for that space.
Yeah.
And there's been conversations about maybe somebody would gift money to help pay for the fountain. That hasn't come to fruition that I'm aware of. So we're taking that part of it out for now and moving forward with the design portion of it. And nothing has been set or even a budget created to build it out. It's still an idea that's forthcoming. Breathe.
Anyways, it was
spicy.
Whatever.
You know,
Tim Wilson sits next to me, and I love that he sits next to me because he just whispers, relax, relax, easy. Like before, I'm like,
yeah.
So I appreciate him sitting there.
And I will say, even when things get spicy, this is still a good board that works well together.
Oh yeah.
You know, we don't always agree on everything, and that's okay. But I think we're really good at the will of the board gets decided, and
we move on, and action taken,
and we move forward, and it works. Yep. So,
okay.
All right. So on to the board meeting.
That's enough about that.
So we did that till 6:45, took a little break, and came back at 7 for the board meeting. And so we did approval of minutes, all of the minutes that were proposed passed. And then under public commentary, there was one gentleman spoke.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. I'm pretty sure he just came for that. His name is Zach, and he is one of the owners at Tonality Brewing.
What's the address? 169 Seymour Street. He gave us
the address.
Just in case you needed to know.
And then forgot to tell us what he did there. So I asked just to clarify. I wasn't really sure. He said he was going to take his hoodie off because he didn't want to shamelessly plug his restaurant.
His hoodie had a tiny little logo.
On a tiny logo, but his shirt was a ginormous logo.
Good for you, man.
So he really didn't come to shamelessly plug, but he came to say thank you because we were considering a big grant payout, which we'd already agreed to. We were just going forward with the payment. Mm-hmm. Now that the business is open, they've met their obligations, and they're a sales tax generating and creating business.
Crush it, dudes.
So it's exciting to see.
I feel like it's like we saw it from its infancy to it's like.
Oh yeah,
it's like a baby.
Well, and I feel like this one, because it is in a building that has historic
and that was owned by the village.
Right.
Like, we really saw a lot of it. Happen. Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. to be that the ribbon cutting and have the fire chief who was a firefighter there.
I know.
You know, like that was kind of fun to hear some of his stories and to relive some of that. Okay, so that was Zach with public commentary. Next up was Lucky Bites Bar and Grill, who came with a request for liquor and video gaming.
Sigh.
Yeah, sigh. You want to take this one? You want to go? You love this stuff.
I love this stuff. No, okay, so it's the guy, the investor, the owner, whatever.
There's a couple partners.
There's a part, yeah. So it's the two gentlemen that own Quick Pick. Is that
Liquors.
Right? Quick Pick Liquors. That's hard to say. And the gentleman that owns Sing's Kitchen in Libertyville.
Yep.
Cool. All business owners. Great. This is great.
And they're moving in and taking over the space at China Court.
Which is so funny because I texted you a couple weeks ago. I was like, what is going in there? Because I couldn't read the sign. So like, they're moving. They got a sign that says coming soon or whatever. So they are pitching a globally infused bar and grill. Kind of cool.
American food with a global infusion.
Kind of cool. Yeah. Fun. Cool.
Hey, I'm always down for more restaurants.
Right.
Like
we need it.
Yeah.
So, although how many do we have?
84 or 85.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
But they want gaming and they want a full liquor license. And those of you who know us know we always oppose gaming. And I asked the question of, because it kind of bothers me. Like, you don't have gaming in Libertyville at your establishment because they don't allow it by code. But you want it here. Like, it just
right off the bat.
It just rubbed me the wrong way. It just, I don't know.
So a couple things that
and it's next to the high school. It's like literally across the street.
A couple things were concerning to me was the proximity to the school, the layout, where I understand. So the layout here was if you walk in the door, you go left to a gaming room or you go right into the restaurant. And the majority of the places that have gaming are bar and grill type or bar restaurants. And the gaming isn't segregated off into a separate section, although it is because it has to be. It's still part of the flow of it.
Yeah.
And I told him during this that it looked like he was trying to run two separate businesses. One, a gaming room, which we don't allow, Like some communities have gaming rooms that happen to sell a sandwich or something, so they meet their code. Or, the other side of this would be a restaurant. And I said, it needs to flow better for me.
Yeah.
I said, I'm still going to vote no on it, but it just doesn't appear as if you're actively trying to incorporate this into your business. Next was the logo.
Okay. So at first I was gonna like rant on the logo, and then I took a breath. Tim Wilson, who told me to relax, and I get what they're trying to do. The whole theming of the restaurant is like casino, right? It's like red and black. All of the dishes are named like poker. I don't know.
It's, dare I say, similar to Lucky Burger.
Stop! You can't say that.
I really miss.
Yeah, but the Philly cheesesteak place is bomb.
I haven't been yet.
Dude, it's good. We're going after this. Russ, I'm not coming home. Eric and I are going to get cheesesteaks. It's good.
I love me a cheesesteak. So I totally see what they were trying to do. Their logo is white and red and black with a slot machine. And for a community that doesn't allow gaming rooms, it looked...
Wait, what's a gaming room? The common person may not know that.
A gaming room is a
where you
place in
just
a strip
have,
mall that's
like
just
a Dottie's, like it's just in a strip mall where you just have slots.
Slots and a sandwich. And some of these communities require them to serve food if they're going to have slot machines.
Right.
So they're like, "Yep, here's your sandwich along with your slot machine."
Yeah.
And we don't go that route. It's an accessory to your food and your beverage.
Yeah. So you have to have a full kitchen and
a full kitchen and a full liquor license, which requires you to serve food.
Yes. Anyways, we ultimately, we're all for another business. We asked him if they could change their logo to like poker cards instead of the slot machine, which he was totally agreeable to. I want him to succeed.
Absolutely.
If he opens up, we will be the first ones in their door, not to game, but like to go have dinner.
Well,
yeah.
Nobody's going to be in there to game because it failed.
Oh, that's right. It did. Oh, that's right.
So it was actually a split board where generally it's not
happens
for gaming. The proximity to the high school did not go in their favor.
Yeah.
They would be the closest restaurant to the school, which sees a lot of traffic from kids during MHS has open campus for every grade. So they came down to a split vote, and the mayor ultimately decided, yes, you can have a liquor license, but no for gaming.
Yeah. So that was I forgot that was.
Yeah.
Because that was so shocking. That never happened. So.
Right. Yeah.
We'll see what happens. More spiciness.
More spicy. Yeah. So it'd be exciting to see a new business open. I'm all for it. Yeah. So. Okay. So next up was the public hearings. There weren't any mayor's report. We canceled the board meeting. The next one was scheduled for...
I was so disappointed. You usually vote no for these.
I usually vote no on canceling the second board meeting in December. I changed my mind this year because it's on Christmas. And historically, I think, hey, if we're getting paid and you know what, we should be there. But I've also talked to staff who says, yeah, but a lot of us take vacation time to spend with our families during that time.
Right. We lose track of that easily.
And we do.
We are an employer as well.
Right. And we can't expect everybody to show up when they're trying to be out of town and visit family.
Yeah.
Falling on the holiday this year, I didn't want to be that guy.
You've gotten soft.
I've gone soft.
So
we actually passed that 6-0 this year. So we still have one more board meeting in December.
December 11th, right?
Okay.
I think so.
And then we moved on to Civic Plus software consolidation. So we have a lot of different softwares at the village that...
and most of them are pretty old.
They're old and they don't all talk well with each other. And one of them that runs our minutes and our agenda side is being phased out. So there's only a couple of years left of use of the software that's even supported. And then there'll be some time where it's not supported, but you can still use it. And then they're just sunsetting it altogether. So that led to some changes where we were trying to figure out, okay, well, how do we move the website and the FOIA software and the minutes and agenda software and a lot of the communication stuff, the emails that go out, the emergency notification systems, and found one vendor that can do it all and with not a large cost increase.
Right, correct. So
we were able to negotiate a contract so long as it's signed by the end of this year. You know, they're trying to meet their sales numbers. Where we don't have to pay it all up front. So we push some of this cost over to our next fiscal year so we can share that cost over the year. Yep. So there's some build out time before it goes live, but it shouldn't be, it's something that can be achieved.
What else you got?
A nail salon variation for 143 North Seymour. Done. Countryside Fire Protection wanted a sign variation. They wanted an LED sign, kind of like the one the police department has. Yep. Done. So they get that. So that's for the Countryside Fire Protection District, which I honestly didn't know was incorporated Mundelein.
I didn't either.
I looked at it, I was like, oh, okay. Just wrapping my brain around that.
I was telling a friend how like the lines in Illinois make no sense. She's not from here, and she's like, I don't understand. I'm like, no one does.
Nobody does. We just all work with it.
Yep.
Design services for Allenson Road water main. So we discussed that. And
it's kind of important.
Yep. Past that. And then our financed, the AT&T separated bills. AT&T was $1,942.39. And then the governing body bill approval was $657,812.59.
Got it.
Public safety.
That's me.
Yeah.
Nothing really cool. We passed one. We basically, as village administrator Gunther indicated, this was just a cleanup, and in practice it's been done for years. If it's snowing or it's icy, don't park on the street.
Correct. So you may have noticed a lot of the signs changed from the 2
inches to just say when snow is present.
Snow operations, snow removal operations are in progress, which I asked, how do we know? And I kind of got the answer of the police won't be jerks.
Yeah.
Which I'm also, not so pleased with, but I understand it's our current practice. And
but
I'm
also
trying to...
I like the logic of it.
I like the logic, but I'm also trying to think down the road to when somebody gets issued a ticket and you go and you stand in front of a hearing officer. How do you plead your case? So I'm just trying to look at all sides of that and go, I don't know. And if it becomes an issue, we'll address it.
We'll see, yeah.
And hopefully it's not.
If this is done and been in practice for years and we've not seen it as an issue, so then maybe we're okay.
I've seen tickets issued on my street, and I will tell you they were warranted. So I can't say I've seen them issued when they weren't warranted. So I trust our police officers make good decisions. And
also, like, are they really going to be like, I don't know. I just feel like from a time management perspective.
Right. And I get what Mr. G was saying there too.
So anyways, whatever.
So that passed.
Blood drive.
Blood drive is December 9th.
Whew, okay. And Toys for Tots.
Filled his second box.
At the fire department. Police, where you at? Where you at, police?
That's right. That's right. All right. So building committee had nothing. Transportation infrastructure had nothing. There was no other reports. On the omnibus vote list was the Tonality Brewing reimbursement and then the purchase order for unemployment claims. So we have to just pay our own unemployment.
Yep.
So that was $23,700.
Again, a good reminder that we are an employer.
Correct. Yeah. And Tonality was $50,000, which was part of the initial agreement that was reached with Tonality several years ago. Under staff reports, we said goodbye to Taylor. Which was
so sad. What a big
sad
loss.
To see. I know our community development, one of our senior planners, Taylor Wegrison. Did I get that right? Wagrin. Right? I don't know. Taylor.
Isn't it all silent? Aren't all the letters silent?
Taylor. So Taylor is a Mundelein resident, and he is leaving the village employment.
Yeah.
So we hope he stays in the village. He's brought us the bike race, which was noted during the meeting, and he's worked on a lot of great projects. So.
Yeah, he'll be missed.
He sure will. Nothing from the attorney or the clerk. And we went into executive session at 7:40-ish.
To discuss personnel
and minutes.
No action afterwards.
Yeah.
That was it.
That was it?
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
So coming up Friday.
Big week this week.
Okay, go on.
Tree gets lit on Friday, and it's Winterfest on Saturday. And the weather's supposed to be better than last year. It was so cold last year. I'm just looking. And I think it's supposed to be nice on Friday and Saturday.
Awesome.
Friday it might rain.
I know, but I've been watching it. I think hourly we're looking okay.
We're nerds.
I know.
So also, Village Plaza Circle is all decorated for Halloween, for Christmas.
Good. And
it looks lovely. And that's it.
Awesome.
Right? That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
See you guys in 2
We'll
weeks.
see you in 2 weeks after our final board meeting of 2023. It's crazy.
Take care. Be safe.
Bye-bye.